you keep thinking about taking action. You would love to do all the hard stuff you know would take you where you want to be. But you keep procrastinating all that stuff, and you have been doing it for months or maybe years. Now, every day you don't do the things, the weight feels heavier. And you keep watching content that tells you that you are lazy and that you should do this productivity hack or time blocking or Notion or whatever. But that never works out because that's not working. That's expanding your problem. The problem is that your brain learned that a specific behavior leads to a small success, a small relief. Your brain literally runs on habits and automatic behaviors. So you procrastinate things because you have an automatic behavior inside your brain that you learned in the past, and now you have to change it. When you change that, you will be an absolute operator. And that's my goal in this video. I want to teach you how you can become an absolute operator. And I want to start telling you that you are not lazy. You're not a lazy person. But there are certain things that you believe are true. The first thing is that you think that you are not ready. So, you are in preparation mode. You're still thinking that someday you will be ready to do those things, but that time will never come. And I'm sure you have already heard that. But I want to tell you something that is even more deep and more important. You don't believe in yourself. This is key here. You don't believe in yourself. That's why you procrastinate things. Now, when you feel that you are not ready, so you are in preparation mode, so you keep thinking about doing something, or you do small things that like planning or watching YouTube videos that like explain you how to do the thing you want to do in a better way. Those are like wastes of time, but they make you feel like you are making progress. What I mean by that is you literally get dopamine hits that tell your brain that you are doing the right thing. And remember, every second you think about something, every second you are planning something, the chances of failure are zero. You cannot fail if you are thinking and planning. Let's see this in detail. I want to tell you and teach you how your brain built this knowledge and this habit and how to change it. So our brains build a model of reality. And that's because reality is complex. It has a lot of variables and they are dynamic, and we cannot analyze those variables in one single instant. So you simplify reality. Remember, a model is a simplification of reality. And we use this model to behave, to do the things we do daily. Now, this model of reality can be divided into two big groups. The first one is your identity. The second one is your environment. Your identity is what you think about yourself. It's who you think you are. And basically, your personality is stored right here. If you are funny, or you think you're funny, or you are shy, or you are undisciplined, or you are disciplined, you are smart, or whatever you are, it's just a thought. It's just a belief, actually. You believe you are that. You are also skilled, because if you are funny, you have a certain skill, right? Like funniness is not about a thought. I mean, it's not about a belief. It's about a belief and a skill. But actually, to be funny, you have to have like a set of beliefs inside your system to be able to develop that skill. I mean, you have to have a certain level of confidence and stuff. I want to tell you the key of this video. The info you have about yourself and about your environment is not real or fake. It's not true or false. It's just information that you store that is useful to design your behavior. But it's not true or false by itself. You have to use that info as true to behave in a certain way, and it will be true in like the physical plane. Like if you think you are undisciplined, you're not an undisciplined consciousness. You are a consciousness that believes that is undisciplined. So that consciousness designs its behavior basing on that belief, and you behave that way. So then you have poor results. So you think you're undisciplined because you have poor results, and people think you're undisciplined, and like those effects start to multiply, and you start to like stack things around that belief. The problem is that your brain uses this info to create a prediction, of course, of the future, and those predictions are about specific events. And basing on those predictions, you design your actions. You have an identity that is set this way. You think you're gonna fail, you think you're in preparation mode, and you think you're not ready yet. When you try to do something, or when you think about doing something, deep down, like not when you are dreaming, when dreaming is easy, but I mean deep down, your unconscious system generates a prediction of failure. So your behavior goes according to that belief, to that prediction, Because this is an automatic system. This is an automatic system that is called the prediction system, which basically helps you spend low amounts of energy by automating processes. You basically design your actions automatically. It's your unconscious mind that designs your actions, not your consciousness, not you. Now, if you had to learn how to wash your hands from scratch every time you want to wash your hands, or if you had to learn how to read, it would be impossible to be alive. That's why you store info and like you store memories of the past, so you can store skills and beliefs about yourself and about the environment. Now, if you predict failure, you will not direct the required energy toward a project, because it's like asking somebody to invest a lot of money in a project that has guaranteed failure. If I tell you, hey, invest in this project that is going to fail, you have to put all your money on this project and you will get nothing in return, you will not do it. The same thing is what the brain does. The brain says, oh, if we are going to fail, we won't direct the energy required. But you learned a specific behavior that kind of fixes it. Your brain learned that there is another way to get a reward. You have to understand that the brain doesn't understand what money is, what numbers are, your brain doesn't understand that kind of rational things. Your brain only reads rewards. You learn with rewards. That's like the dopaminergic system. That's like when have you ever heard of dopamine? Well, that's exactly what we are talking about here. Your brain literally is seeking a reward. Your brain is seeking a dopamine hit. And every time you do or you execute a behavior that gives you a dopamine hit, your brain learns. Your brain literally learns. Your brain literally says, oh, all right, if we get a dopamine hit from this behavior, we will repeat it in the future. And every time you repeat that behavior, you reinforce the neuronal pathway that makes that behavior automatic. And that reinforces your beliefs. So basically, your brain learned that if you overthink, you overplan, and you procrastinate, you cannot fail, and you get a sensation of progress. This sensation of progress gives you a reward. That is dopamine. So every time you watch a YouTube video about doing something, about studying better or working better or a business model or painting better or doing whatever better or training, or you are on your Notion planning things on your calendar and making a to-do list that is beautiful, or doing whatever like you do in your daily basis, or maybe you scroll for hours, like you just waste your time, or maybe you do a mix, you combine. Well, that gives you a reward. Every time you watch a YouTube video or you like create a Notion template or whatever that feels like you are making progress, you get a reward. And remember, when you get the reward, the brain learns that behavior brings a reward. So your brain will try to repeat that behavior. That's why you have been procrastinating. Because you think you're not ready, you're in preparation mode, and you don't believe in yourself. But your brain found a way to get a reward without taking action. You overthink, you overplan, and you procrastinate. You have a sensation of progress, and that gives you a reward. How do you change this? It looks like a mess, but you are not a mess. You have a brain, and you have, like, maybe it sounds a little bit cliche, but you have like infinite power. Your brain is such a beautiful machine that can be used to create whatever you have always wanted. It's just a matter of learning how to use it properly. So, how do you change this? And that's by doing two things. The first thing you gotta do is being aware. You have to be aware of this model right here, your prediction system. Because if you think that you are not ready, that you are not smart, that you are undisciplined, and you don't believe in yourself, so you are constantly predicting failure, let me tell you something. You will not direct the required energy towards the projects you know will take you to success. So you will never make it. Now, we could talk for hours about being aware of this system. But what I can tell you right now is awareness is a skill. If you develop this skill, you will master your brain and you will be successful in whatever you have always wanted to be. Now, every time a thought pops up in your mind and that thought shows you being a failure or failing, or that thought tells you that you are undisciplined or unworthy or you cannot make it, you just ignore the thought. Why? Because maybe you have experiences in the past that show you that you are an undisciplined person, that you are not smart, that you have never made something meaningful, so you will never make it. Why would you ignore the thought if it's telling the truth? Because it's not telling the truth. That's just a system that creates truth. You create the truth by believing in certain thoughts. If you believe you are undisciplined, you will create evidence and reinforce that belief, making it true. You manifest into the physical plane what you believe is true inside your mental plane. Ignoring the thought may feel uncomfortable and unnatural at first, because you will be like, wow, I am not making anything, I am not doing anything, I haven't made any money, I haven't trained, I don't do the things I have to do, but I believe of myself that I am extremely disciplined, extremely smart, that I will make it. Yeah, it feels unnatural, but it's the only way you can actually create something meaningful, because you have to become the cause of the effects that are meaningful. And people that create important effects are people that believe they are disciplined, smart, like skilled, that they are patient or whatever. So stay aware and remember that the thoughts that tell you that you are a failure, those are trash. Stop giving attention to those thoughts because they will grow, and start giving attention to thoughts that show success. Because now I want you to believe in yourself. Why? Just because. There is no reason. Just ignore the thoughts that tell you that you are not going to be successful. Ignore them at all. Ignore them at all. Now you just pay attention to thoughts that tell you that you are going to be successful. Why? Because you will take action. And when you take action, you are one step closer to success. No matter what. No matter if it was a small step, or if you did it super wrong, or if there were no outputs, or whatever. Like, you just take action. One step further is one step closer to success. And how do you fix this habit? This is a habit, guys. And habits are learned with the reward system. You have to regulate your reward system, and you have to unlearn a habit and relearn a new habit. Basically, you have to teach your brain that taking action is way better than thinking about doing something. Now, this is the part where I will tell you something that is extremely simple. Action and inaction. I need you guys to take action. You have to do something small. Do something that is small. Because when you do something that is small, you create momentum. And momentum is what will take you to success. And when I say inaction, what I mean is stop doing this. Now, the first days, doing this will feel extremely uncomfortable because you will not be getting the dopamine hits of feeling you are making great progress by planning. And taking action in the beginning feels bad because you don't have anything. You're just taking action, you're not sure, you have thoughts that tell you that you will not make it, or whatever. That's why you have to ignore your thoughts by being aware. And just take action, no matter what, no matter what, no matter what, no matter what, no matter what. There is no reason for not taking action today. Just take action, create momentum, and that will teach your brain that taking action is way better than planning. But stop planning. Stop watching videos that explain how to, whatever you want. Like maybe you want to build a career, so you have to get a degree, or you want to build a business. Maybe you are an artist, maybe you are a professional, and you want to build a personal brand or a small business or whatever. Like, stop watching content that will help you, because content on YouTube will help you, but it won't help you if you are consuming like 3-4 videos a day for months. You have to watch one piece of content every couple of days, just extract the knowledge and use it. It's better to use one video in a great way than watching 20 videos and doing nothing. My value here comes from here, and I hope that this explanation really made you aware of something you didn't know and it's helping you. But the greatest value comes from awareness, because if you think you will be successful, now you will work extremely hard to make it. So I really hope it helped. Thanks for watching. Bye.